An incredible catwalk built into the rock walls of a canyon, a ghost town high up in the mountains, and the remains of a once thriving mining industry hidden in the hills. This is the Motorcycle Travel Channel. I'm Sterling, and today I'm in New Mexico. So I'm here on the side of the road in New Mexico. We're going to head up into the high country, probably over 9,000 feet of elevation today. And there's a couple of stops that I want to make on the way. The first one is just up the road here. And later this afternoon, I should be able to hit a ghost town. But right now, there's some deer right over here on the side of the road. They're not even scared of me at all. 1, 2, 3, at least 4 of them. Look off to the right-hand side. This is the Catwalk Road, which heads up into the mountains. It's actually an excellent paved road for motorcyclists. I rode for about 7 miles up to the Catwalk Recreation Area, a busy day-use fee site with picnic tables, restrooms, and trail access. The Catwalk Recreation Area is located at the mouth of Whitewater Canyon. High stream flows are common at the last water crossing before the Catwalk parking lot. This little crossing was really slippery. I paid $5 for a day pass to use the facility. In 1893, a small town grew around a mill located on the hillside near the present-day location of the parking area. In order to meet the community's need for water, a pipe was bolted to the rock walls of the canyon. The modern-day catwalk follows the path of these original pipes. I walked through the entrance and was immediately transported into an oasis with tall trees and a flowing stream. This is Whitewater Creek, which flows out of the Gila Wilderness to the east. To say that this place was peaceful would be an understatement. I walked along a footpath next to these rock walls and came to a bridge, which I crossed. I stopped to admire the mountains of the Gila National Forest before proceeding onto the catwalk, and this is where I was blown away. This is an amazing structure built into the side of the cliff faces here in this beautiful canyon. They've actually constructed a metal catwalk that you can walk on for a quarter of a mile, a half a mile, I'm not sure exactly, but it goes on for an impressive length. And along the way, you can touch the rock surfaces, you can look down at the free-flowing water in the canyon. It's just amazing. Well, this place is really spectacular. I'm actually more impressed than I thought I would be. First of all, the engineering is incredible. And if you just look at all the details, how it's put together, drilled into the rock face with massive I-beams and all this metal, it was quite a feat of engineering. And then not to mention that it's in a really beautiful canyon with water flowing down right through it. So even if the catwalk wasn't here, it would be pretty spectacular, but the catwalk provides such an interesting and easy way to walk into this canyon. And the fact that you're elevated above the water on the side of the rock, it just gives you a feeling and a perspective you never see. I mean, look at the way that it's just built right into the rock. You've got these massive I-beams, each one of them anchored independently into the rock, and then all of this metal forming the surface that you walk on and staircases. Whoever had the vision to design this and the fortitude to actually see it through, they deserve a lot of credit. So if you're ever in this part of New Mexico, the far western edge of New Mexico, almost touching the border of Arizona, look for the little town of Glennwood and come check out the Glennwood Catwalk. Well, this is part 2 of today's adventure. I'm going to head up this road to the ghost town of Mogollon. It's a highly rated paved road. Then I'll take a highly rated dirt road further up into the mountains. And if I go all the way, it'll be up to 9,000 feet of elevation. We're at about 5,000 feet right now, 4,500 feet, somewhere around there. So it could turn out to be a spectacular day of high country riding here in New Mexico. So let's read the description for the Bursum Road. Heading east from Highway 180 via 159, Make sure to stop at the historic Mogollon General Store and other curios in this old western town. Continuing east, the pavement turns to dirt as soon as you ascend the mountain, switchback after switchback via this graded gravel road. According to this map, Bursum Road goes up to 9,229 feet of elevation. You give a special warning about weather conditions at these elevations and that you should plan to ride this road in summer or early fall for the best experience. Okay, that's the plan. Here we go. And just like that, we are starting to get a little bit of drizzle. I do have my rain gear with me, so I'm prepared. The Bursum Road leading up to the ghost town of Mogollon is a stunningly scenic drive. The road is paved up to the town of Mogollon. You gain several thousand feet in about 12 miles. There's a beautiful plateau midway up, and I stopped to take in the views. Then I got back on the bike and continued making my way up the grade. Nice paved switchbacks here. We're really climbing up now. We're almost 6,000 feet of elevation now. We've already climbed up about 1,500 feet. Look at this cool section of road here. Well, this is a long, slow climb getting up here. I can't decide if I want to be in first gear or second gear. This is a steep little hill climb here going up to Mogollon. We are up to, about 7,000 feet almost. Should be at the ghost town pretty soon. Looks like there's some old mining structures on the side of the road here. There's a chute right here. Well, welcome to Mogollon, New Mexico. An old ghost town. You can see all the cool old buildings, over 100 years old. A town that was built on mining. Now it's a ghost town. General store on the left, museum on the right. The sign here says, "Welcome to Mogollon, New Mexico Mining Ghost Town. All properties privately owned. Please enter businesses only." Over here, it looks like there's the entrance to what was probably once upon a time a mine, sealed off now. Maybe it's a cave, maybe it's still a mine back in there, who knows. You can see where water flows down through here. Rain will just sweep down through here and it could wash away cars. So they built these massive drainage canals to funnel the water through town safely. There's some old mining carts here on the left. Lots of cool old buildings. Looks like this building was a theater, the Mogollon Theater, 1915. There's a sign that says the Old Kelly Store. And over here on the left, you can see a building that's called the Purple Onion. I believe that's a cafe. And up ahead, what's left of an old general store. Historic old structure with wood covered in tin. Well, this is the Mogollon ghost town, and it doesn't appear that anything is open today, but it is still an absolutely fantastic place to visit and just check out some of these old buildings. I wish the museum was open and some other places so that I could get some more information, but that's not going to happen today. It's just kind of a peaceful, quiet Monday afternoon up here in Mogollon, and it's about 10 miles off the highway, I think. Kind of have to turn to the east and head up the hill into the mountains, and then you'll find this little town. But a charming ghost town. There are people that live here. There are a few businesses. There's a museum, but nothing is open today. It's just a quiet look at a very unique ghost town here in New Mexico. Okay, this is the road we're going to take here on the right. Bursum Road up to over 9,000 feet of elevation. Right now we're at 6,600 feet, so probably another 2,000 feet to go. It'll be cold up there. Okay, here we go on the Bursum Road that's going to be turning to dirt very soon. Okay, you can see here that there's a water marker on the right-hand side that would tell the elevation of the water when it comes down out of the mountains here, and that's why they put that canal here. Okay, this is where the pavement ends, the dirt starts. Okay, it says we're on New Mexico 159 East, Old 78. This is an A1 rated road on the Butler motorcycle maps, which means it's one of the best dirt roads in New Mexico. Now, I was looking at the map and it's all going to be uphill from here for the next several miles, well over half this ride. Then we'll get to the top and go down on the other side. So we're going to be heading uphill for quite a while. And I've done this road before. It was many years ago, but as I recall, it's basically like this. just a forest road through the mountains. I don't remember any specifically rugged, hard, technical, expert sections. Rough road. Entering the national forest right now. Typical road warning sign about extreme dangers ahead. Another one. I might have to stop and put a jacket on. Look at these old steps here on the side of the road. Let's see where they go. All kinds of history in these hills. You just don't know what you'll discover. Looks like maybe there was a building up here at one time. There's a tiny shed over there. The remains of a wall right here. Looks like some kind of outpost up here. Wood cutting, old truck. Well, it's not a fast-paced ride today because of the uphill, and it's pretty rocky. But it's a beautiful forest, and it's nice and cool up here. I would say it's probably upper 40s. Lots of birds, a bunch of these little creek crossings. Here's a gate where they would close the road in the wintertime, probably. Well, we are just climbing up and up and up and up. I'm already at 8,300 feet of elevation, and I can see snow over there in the shadows on that side of the mountain there. So we're definitely getting up in the high country. This is first gear only for me going up this hill. There's sections of loose rock and some spots where I've kind of got to be on my toes, but generally speaking, it's fairly straightforward. I wouldn't have any hesitation doing this on pretty much any size adventure motorcycle, at least the way the road conditions are right now. It's just pretty steep for this little motorcycle, but doing fine as long as I keep it first gear and have my speed around 13 miles an hour. It's actually pretty relaxing, I have to admit. You can see snow off in the distance over there. Man, am I glad I stopped to put on my jacket. It is downright cold up here. I guess that's to be expected now that we're at almost 9,000 feet of elevation. Yeah, look at all this snow around me now. I wonder if we're going to hit any snow on the road. Now it's starting to open up a little bit. Definitely up in the high country now. There's lots of snow on the side of the mountain. Well, there was definitely a forest fire here not too long ago. Witness all the devastation. Some kind of information kiosk here. Gila Centennial Trail, celebrating wilderness at its birthplace. Nice view up here. Well, I'm not sure if this is the high point or not. We are up at, 9,200 feet of elevation. So I suspect that because there's this information kiosk here and a little bathroom and this pullout, that this is probably the high point of the road here. Well, it's very windy and it's starting to snow. So I'm gonna head back down to lower elevation, back in the forest, and get out of this weather, get myself a little more comfortable. So I'm heading back downhill now, the road that I just came up. I made it 9 miles up the Bursum Road from the town of Mogollon, and that appeared to be the high point or the pass, so it seems like a good time to turn around and head back downhill, especially considering the weather. Not exactly favorable conditions for sleeping outdoors. Well, you know, I certainly could have camped up there. I have everything I need for camping, but it would have been a miserable experience. I mean, it's in the 30s right now. Imagine how cold it would get in the middle of the night. There's really no reason to do that. You know, what am I going to really accomplish by spending the night alone in the freezing cold up there? Now I'm going to head back down, and it just seems like the prudent thing to do, the wise thing to do, the safe thing to do, and admittedly the more comfortable thing to do. So here I go, back down to Mogollon. I don't look at this as a cop-out going back to the van. I look at that as an additional option on a trip like this, and it's great to have that option in a situation like this. I can go out and ride and explore all day long like I've been doing, and then come the end of the day, if I want to camp out on the trail, I can do that. If I want to head back to the van, I can also do that. So it seems to be a winning combination for me at this point in my life, to have that option to have a van and a motorcycle. Well, I just saw this interesting sight off the side of the road, and it appears that there's a road going down to it. So let's take this little road and see what's down here. There's a gate here, but it's open. Oh yeah, some kind of old structure from days gone by. Yeah, look at this. What a find. just off a little side road, this old abandoned building. The road keeps going down this way to the right. Man, whenever I see a building like this, I'm just compelled to stop and have a look and just poke around. There's graffiti in here going back to 1968. You can barely see it. It says Long Beach, California, 1968. I'm not looking for anything in particular, just checking things out. Sometimes taking pictures, just seeing little bits of history, imagining what once happened here. Here's an old mine, obviously. Warning sign, do not enter. Wow, I can't see the end of the tunnel back in here. It just goes in underneath the road up above. Very cool town, Mogollon. A ghost town, an old mining town. A very small little town nestled up in the mountains of western New Mexico, where it's a gray, cloudy, and a little bit rainy day right now. There's snow up on the top of that mountain back there, and that's probably about where I just came from, is way up there, about 10 miles from here, where it looks dark and foreboding. So glad that I made the decision to come down off of that mountain. It wasn't really a choice. You'd have to be a fool to spend the night up there in a tent when it's going to be probably down into the low 20s and windy. All right, one more back road before I call it a day. Like I said, I'm kind of compelled to explore these things, and I saw some structures off in the distance and this dirt road leading toward them. So we'll go have a look, and if it's not gated off or there's no trespassing signs, we'll poke around and I'll show you some more stuff that's out here in the hills, see what kind of history lies down this road. Well, there was a fence here, but it's completely open and there's no signs. Wow, there's a whole bunch of crap out here. Well, what a glimpse into something otherworldly. It's almost post-apocalyptic up here. Remnants of some kind of industrial processing facility. I'm sure it had to do with the mining here in Mogollon. Look at this old catwalk. Boy, you just don't want to walk out on that. If you like this kind of exploration, old abandoned mining towns, ruins from a different era, old industrial stuff. This appears to be some kind of a gold mine. There's just all kinds of that stuff right in front of me, right here. Well, this is just not something you see every day. If you like this kind of urban exploration, man, this is your place. Not to encourage anyone to come out here and do this, but like I showed you, there were no signs, there was no gate, there was just a dirt road leading out here. Here's some kind of tank halfway in the ground, wide open. What a strange place, right? This is like an apocalyptic mad scientist laboratory, or what's left of it after a failed experiment. The funny thing is, it's actually kind of peaceful and serene out here. Beautiful this time of the day with these grasses all around here. And then you have this kind of industrial wasteland. Kind of doesn't really go together, but it is what it is. I'm really glad that I saw this and saw the dirt road leading down here just to come and explore, find stuff like this strangely fascinating and beautiful. I noticed some other ruins on a hillside in the distance. Something to explore on another day. Okay, I really do have to go now. I'm getting hungry and the day is drawing to a close. I have had such a good day of riding and exploring, so many things to see right here in this little area of New Mexico. Now I'm heading back down to the van, and I'm going to do a little van camping this evening to wrap things up. Holy cow, I am tired. That was a day of it. But I do feel really good about my choice not to sleep up on the mountain. That just would have been a cold, miserable experience. I am going to call it a night, have myself a glass of wine, cook some dinner, and sleep really well in the van tonight. How do you like that? Lots of birds, lots of wildlife today. It's been a good ride. Thanks for joining me. We'll see you in the next episode.